Hi friends, this is Homespun Homemaking with Kathy's Heart Creations. And I know it's been a long time since I've made a personal video where I'm actually talking to you. It's been 7 weeks that I've been busy with a family issue, a welcoming one. My granddaughter gave birth to her second child January the 7th. She had to have an emergency C-section because of preeclampsia, and the baby was breech, but the scheduled C-section wasn't until the next week on the 15th. So we got this wonderful little bundle a week early, and so it's been quite the gift. And I am blessed that I live nearby. I am blessed that I've been able to be a part of her recovery, being able to fill in with helping feeding the baby, fixing a meal here and there, folding laundry, little things that just kind of help her out, because physically, if you've ever had abdominal surgery, you don't move around very well. And so her mom and I and her mother-in-law have been a team of taking care of her, taking turns coming and going. But we're settling in now. The baby is 7 weeks old today. Her name is Violet. Cute little Victorian name, and just the sweetest little baby. I will share a photo of her, but it's kind of a side video out of respect for their privacy and for the baby's privacy. I'm not doing a full frontal view of her, but this great grandma is loving every second of it, and it's like everything else can be put on hold. So the videos have been put on hold. As you can see, if you can tell from the glare, this is about 5:30 in the evening, and so I've still got some glare here in the late day, but I've got my Klingon snowflakes that are still up on my Christmas decor. And so this video is going to be a hodgepodge. It's going to be more about real life. You're not going to see me all dressed up. You're not going to see my house in perfect order. It's going to be, I'm going to take you along and show you bits and pieces of things that have not gotten done over the last 6 to 7 weeks. And so it's just how it is. You do the best you can. And like I say, you prioritize what's important. And my family at this stage of my life is priority. And so I don't want to miss a second of it. So anyway, so I am going to, this video maybe it'll seem a little bit bumpy and a little bit of this and that, but I'm doing that intentionally because I want you to realize that life isn't always perfect. It isn't always clutter-free. It isn't always perfectly clean. And so I just wanted to take you along on to show you, where I am behind and working to try to get it back. I'm still going over to their house 2 days a week. I get to do the cuddling and the snuggling and the changing of the diaper and feeding, and so that her mom can focus on doing her laundry and preparing dinner and that sort of thing. And so it's just a good time in my life. Something else I wanted to share. Also, when it comes to taking down my Christmas decorations, this is probably going to be the main thrust of this video, is the organization. And I know most of you have got your stuff down and put away, but this organization system that I use for every season, not just at Christmas time. Christmas, of course, is a big one. That's where I have the majority of decor pieces. But I do this with everything. So taking you along on that and seeing how I do things individually rather than in one great big bin that you pull out for Easter or you pull out for Christmas. So I'm not sure, how long this video might be. I'm not going to be able to tape this all in one day. So I'm going to be doing it over a period of time and then editing it and putting it together, and then I will produce it, share it on YouTube. But anyway, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to talk to you, and I hope you are having a. I know most of you are probably dealing with cold and snow. It has been cold here in Florida. Uh, this is probably, I've been here almost 40 years, and this has probably been the coldest winter so far. And being that I'm not a native, I enjoy the seasons, and so I have enjoyed the break from the heat and just having a season of not having to push so hard to do yard work and whatnot. So, anyway, I will stop chatting and I will begin to show you um, some of my takedown. Hold on, I'll be right back.
So behind on everything. As you can see, I've been doing a lot of freezer cooking, and this is the condition of my kitchen when I made this video. It is an absolute disaster with all the dirty dishes. But this is reality. This is real life. And so there's no pretending here. I bought a family pack of chicken thighs and boiled it in water so that I would also have the broth. And as you can see, what I usually do is at night I will put this in the refrigerator, let it sit overnight, so that the fat rises to the top and I can just skim it off because I don't want all that fat in my broth when I use it for different meals. And so this is my method of just making it pure. There's nothing quite like homemade bone broth. Homemade chicken broth can be used for so many different meals. As you can see here, I have been sorting through my pantry for expiration dates and taking those foods that are getting close to expiring and creating new meals from them. Here I'm about to make a pumpkin pie, but I also made several pie doughs where I made a homemade chicken pot pie. Uh, but all these meals are going in the freezer to be used later in single servings. This is absolutely my favorite pie crust recipe to use from Martha Stewart from years ago. From my freezer cooking marathon, this is one of the dishes I made. I took a sheet cake pan or a cake pan and made a huge chicken pot pie with a homemade crust on top, cut into single squares to be used individually. Using up canned pumpkin that was about to expire, I made 2 pumpkin pies for my granddaughter and me, one for her, one for me. And I also made us both some homemade pumpkin bread. Yummy goodness for the freezer. And this is my 50-year-old recipe from Betty Crocker. Faithful and true and good. I also made a pot of goulash, also known in our family as beefaroni. Simply cook some pasta, put it in a pan with some browned ground beef and a jar of spaghetti sauce, and add a jar of water and let it simmer for a while. And you have a great meal. And this was divided in also into single servings and packed away in the freezer. I successfully grew some broccoli earlier this fall, and this was my harvest during this time. And I steamed it, and there again, put it in the freezer for future meals. I was out of groceries, and after every grocery haul, I go through and write down the expiration dates or the best by dates on the with a Sharpie so that it's easily readable for me when I look in my pantry. I also pulled everything out of my freezer, cleaned the freezer, and then I reorganized all of my foods by category um, in their individual bins and shelves. Makes it easy to find what I need when I need. We had a lot of freeze damage to our plants this winter, and so I've also been out working in the yard, trying to get caught up in making the yard look a little tidier by cutting back a lot of the shrubs and bushes and putting them out for the garbage. As you can see, it has been a very, very busy time the last couple of months here the last few weeks trying to get caught up on everything. Tons of laundry, not only in the dryer, but also on my dryer racks. I'm also catching up on first of the year organizing for drawers and bathroom cabinets, pantry cabinets, you name it. I've been pulling it out and giving it a fresh. Putting away Christmas and organizing it in a way that's easy for me to access it when I bring it out again for the following Christmas is a little different than what most people do. As you can see here, I use cardboard boxes. I don't buy plastic bins. I use what I have, make do with what I have, and I pack it away for the area that it's in. Like you can see for the dining room, that centerpiece has its own separate box. So every Christmas, I've just pulled that out rather than having to bring out the whole big bunch of decor at one time. I can do it individually. As you can see here, I did it with the homemade gingerbread house that I made out of foam core board years ago. I've done it with the fake poinsettias that I put in a crock by my fireplace every year. I just pack it away in a box and it's just easy to get out and plop it into the crock each time. I like an old fashioned Christmas, and so each year I put popcorn strands on my Christmas tree. But these strands that you see here are about 8 to 10 years old. The way that I preserve them, I store them in an old popcorn can, that you use at Christmas time, those tins, and works. It works beautifully. Despite the busyness, I've taken time to enjoy the springtime, and we've had a beautiful spring here, despite all the freezes, which I thought would have killed a lot of the buds, but it didn't. I also have an Etsy shop called Homespun Homemaking with Kathy's Heart Creations, where I've been very busy trying to add new items into the shop. Please stop by and take a look. Thank you for watching. Please check back soon as I'm hoping to have a new spring and Easter video up in within the next week. Thank you.